Hello everyone, my name's Preston Dennett, and today I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my new book, Schoolyard UFO Encounters. This is all about schools which have been visited by UFOs. These are not normal sightings, these are very low-level sightings. They occur during the day, usually. Schools are directly targeted, and these objects are viewed usually by large groups of people. And not just students, often teachers as well. Sometimes there's a governmental response. Often these accounts appear in newspapers. Something really profound is happening here. And yeah, I've collected some 100 cases, more really. About half involve elementary schools, and about, let's see, 1/3 of them involve landings and or humanoids. So these are very close encounters and very important, I think. And I can't cover all 120 cases or so in the book, so I'd like to talk about the top 16 or so most widely viewed, starting with the least amount of witnesses going to the most. The one case that we'll start with occurred on May 21st, 1968 at Union High School in Roosevelt, Utah, where some 21 students and their teacher, an English teacher, observed this metallic object hovering next to the school for a period of about 10 minutes, and at one point it looked like it was going to land. The next case occurred on March 15th, 1950, and there was 35 students and their teacher who observed two visitations of multiple objects which came down and directly targeted the school, coming very low and scaring many of the students pretty bad. Next case after that occurred on March 9th, 1967 at Sacred Heart Elementary School in Moline, Illinois. Some 40 students and 3 nuns observed this metallic object hovering over the school, glowing. It was also seen by a police officer who was able to film this object. This case did generate a lot of interest from Air Force and government officials. Next case after that was really widely viewed occurred on October 1970 at the Foxcroft Boarding School in Middleburg, Virginia, when a group of about 50 female students who were outside next to the school saw this saucer-shaped object approach very low. It sent down a beam of light and moved just across the field, right over the students, who jumped up and went chasing after it. Next case after that would be at the Ariel Elementary School in Rua, Zimbabwe on September 16th, 1994. At least 62 students observed multiple UFOs, one of which landed next to the school. Humanoids were seen, some of which communicated with a few of the students. It's probably the most famous schoolyard encounters, but there are many very similar, or pretty much just like it. On October 22nd, 1954, at least 60 students and one teacher observed this object hovering over the Jerome Elementary School in Marysville, Ohio. It was a metallic object, very bright. It darted away after sending down this huge shower of what we now call angel hair, this cotton candy-like substance, some of which was actually collected and sent to the local Air Force, who declined to respond. Another very widely viewed case occurred on November 8th, 1973, when about 70 students and their teachers saw this object, kind of shaped like the Apollo capsule with landing legs, hover over the school and come very low as if for a landing, and then suddenly disappear in a flash of light. After that, another case would be on March 21st, 1966, at Hillsdale College in Hillsdale, Michigan, when more than 87 students and teachers and school officials observed an object hover next to the school for a period of 1 to 2 hours. This object actually landed in front of the school at one point, hovered very close, and maneuvered around for quite a while and was observed by 2 police officers as well. It's a very well-known case. After that would be an incident which occurred at Whitsett Elementary School in Whitsett, North Carolina on October 27th, 1955, when about 120 students and at least 2 teachers observed multiple spherical-shaped objects, metallic, darting around in the sky. And just like the Jerome Elementary School case, they dropped a whole bunch of angel hair, some of which was collected and sent to a chemical lab and a biologist, neither of who were able to identify it. After that would be a case which occurred on August 2nd, 1957 in Reefton, New Zealand, when some 130 students and 3 teachers observed a bright silver cigar-shaped object performing incredible maneuvers over the school. On June 1st, 1950, in Minneapolis, Minnesota, 150 students and 5 teachers observed an object hovering over the Pine Point School. In July 1962, a school in Villa Tunuyan, Argentina was visited. 180 students and their school teachers were able to see 3 glowing blue disc-shaped objects dart over the school. The next case after that would be in May 1970 at the public elementary school number 54 in Bronx in New York City, where at least some 200 students observed an object hovering about 100 feet in the air, silver-colored, shaped like a pyramid, and spinning in place, about the size of a small school bus. Next case after that was on April 7th, 1967. Some 200 students at Crestview Elementary School in Opelika, Florida, observed multiple UFOs, one of which landed apparently next to the school. Now we get to the top 3 cases. On April 6, 1966, about 300 students at Westall High School in Melbourne, Australia, observed multiple objects, one of which landed next to the school. There was a cover-up of the event following the sighting. After that, on May 17, 1970, some 400 students and 2 teachers at the Richmond School in Maranui, New Zealand, observed an object hovering very low over the school. It hovered in place for about 10 minutes, moved a little bit to the east, and then took off straight up. Probably number 1 most widely viewed case occurred on December 15, 1954 in San Lorenzo, Venezuela. And the town of San Lorenzo experienced a huge display. It was seen by about 1,000 residents and at least 400 students, or more than 400 students, and their teachers from the San Lorenzo College, who observed these objects whirling around the sky for quite some period of time, very low. 2 of the students fainted from the excitement. So these are just some of the cases that appear in my book, Schoolyard UFO Encounters. I think the reason why these UFOs are targeting schools is really to convince students of the presence of UFOs and the reality of UFOs. This is why they're targeting elementary schools first, but really all schools. So I think these are important cases. And yeah, that's it for now. Thanks for listening.